Release the Kraken!
Welcome back, fellow game designers. In our last video we went ahead and fixed Leon's face. And in this one we're going to tackle my most favorite part about modeling, which is the UVs. Just kidding. Everybody pretty much hates UVs, but they're not really that bad. The issue is a lot of people have a hard time converting 3D space into 2D space, but it's really not that bad. And throughout this you'll see just how simple it is. Okay, so firstly let's go ahead and save our work. This is going to be Leon 18. And go ahead and open up the UV window here. Look at those. Those are amazing UVs. Well, let's go ahead and fix these. I'm going to go up to Create. And let's go down to Automatic. Oof. That's terrible. This is not useful at all. So one of the downsides about automatic is it's really only good for geometric shapes. So geometric means boxy. Boxy shapes like our hip pouches and, boxes and tables and chairs, those work really well with automatic. For organic things like people, not so much. So instead I'm going to go up to object mode. Let's grab our guy here and we'll go down to planar, hit the box. And we want to make sure we're taking our picture from Z, because that's the direction my character is facing. If you modeled your character facing a different direction, make sure you orient him to Z and save his position, because Z is the standard forward direction. Okay, so we'll choose Z, hit project, and suddenly we have something that represents our character. Now this is not done. We have a lot of work to do. So if I take a look at this, you can see that right here I have UVs in the front, but if I go to the back, I've got UVs in the back, and they are overlapping in the same space, and that's not good. Our color is going to get shared between front and back. Sometimes you want that, but a lot of times you don't. And actually up here on the top of the head, you can see that these up here all occupy almost exactly the same space. And what that's going to do is cause stretching across the texture. So what we need to do is unfold our 3D model so that it's a 2D shape, which makes it a lot easier to paint on. So let's dive right in. I'm going to keep my menu open over here. Just kind of shrink it so it's out of the way. And I'm going to go into edge selection. And I'm going to go over to the neck here. I'm going to try to find the best area where the neck connects to the body. And that looks like it's down here. So I'm going to go ahead and just double click. And that looks like it runs pretty much clean through the collar. I'll just take a look and make sure I got a nice clean selection. If yours is not a clean selection, you're going to have to go through and gather the interior edges of that collar. Okay, so I've got my collar, and I'm going to go up the back of the neck here. So find the very, very back of the neck, really far back into here. There it is. Now, if you're not sure where center is, if you have symmetry on, you can see the blue. And if I go to the middle, it turns red. Red is center. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab this. I'll go up a couple positions. And then I'm going to go to the top of the head, come around to right around the middle of the forehead, hold shift, double click, and that's going to give us a selection. It's the back of the head. And what we're going to do is pull a little bit of a Leatherface situation. We're going to split the back of the head and skin it like a mask. A little meat puppet mask. Okay, let's go to the ears here, and we'll do kind of the same deal. I'm going to hold shift, double click. I'm going to grab that band, hold shift, double click, and here. And I'm getting the outside selection of the ear, like so. Since we have symmetry on, we should have that on the other side. And then I'm going to dive inside the head here to get the mouth box. So as you see, as I'm going inside the mouth, I actually can't see a lot of my model. And that's happening because I happen to have back face culling on. So I'm going to go to object mode real quick. I'm going to go up to display, come down to polygons, and then hit back face culling. That'll turn back face culling off, and now I can see the inside of my face. I'll go back to edge mode, and then I'm going to find the inside of the lips here. So there they are. That's where it connects, this little funnel here. Let me find a good edge. It doesn't really matter which one. I think that's probably good right there. I'll Go ahead and double click. And that should get me the inside edge of the lips. And I went too far. Let me go ahead and go back. Alright, how about back here? How's that looking? Pretty good. I really want to get more inside the mouth than that. How about back in here? Get that. Alright. I think that's good. And the reason why I'm going this far back is just so when I'm painting the model, the lips are kind of out here on the face and not inside the mouth. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. Okay, so we got all that. And then I'm going to go to my UV window here. Don't worry about it not showing up. It's just a selection issue in Maya. I'm going to come down to the cut and sew option and hit UV cut. And now our face should be separated into its own group here. You can see all the cut lines. I'm going to save our work. Go to UV selection. Go ahead and double click the head. I'm going to come down to the unfold option here and then hit unfold. And there is our head unfolded. I'm going to go ahead and just move this up. Look at that. That's amazing. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Ready for Leatherface. I'm going to do the same thing for these other pieces. So the mouth box, I'll go ahead and unfold. Ears, unfold. And I can move all these pieces up here. So that looks good. Next up, I want to do the torso. So let's go ahead and do it in here. I'm going to go to Edge Selection. I'm going to find where the edge of the pants are. I think here's pretty good. I'll double click. That'll get me around there. And then I also want to do the sleeves here. So I'll go maybe about here on the arm. You can go ahead and pick where you want to start. I think this is good. Let's go ahead and double click that. And that'll give me a loop around the arm. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go over to the wrist here. I'm going to find out where the middle of the wrist is. Right about there is good. Hold shift, double click. And that should give us some pretty good slices around that. I'm going to go into my perspective view here. I'm going to go to the back of my model. And you can see I have the armor on. Let me go ahead and turn that off. I'll go and hit object mode. Grab the armor. Let's go ahead and name that. I'll just call it armor. And then I will hit H to turn that off. Select the body. Go back into edge selection. We should still have our edges selected, which is great. And I'm going to go down to the belt. And you can see the belt's in the way. So object mode, let me turn the belt off. Let's go ahead and grab the body again. Go back to edge. Okay, and I'm going to get this middle one. Again, red is middle. And I'll go up to the back of the collar here. And I'm going to click here. Hold shift, double click. That's going to give me a cut through. And then I need to make sure I get inside the collar just because it's a little tricky in here. And then hold shift, double click. There we go. And now I can do a UV cut. So I'll go back into here, UV cut. Let's go into UV selection. I'll get the torso. Hit unfold. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and move that off into its own space. And I'll straighten it out. All right. For the arms, we're going to go and do the underside. So I'll go back into perspective here. Go underneath the arm. Let's go into edge selection. And come down here. I'll get the middle of the arm. And really what I want to do is just double click. That'll get me a nice cut along the arm here. I'll go back into my menu for my UVs. And I want to deselect a bunch of stuff. So first up, I'm going to deselect the body. So I'm going to hold Control and then go through, deselect. And I do the same thing on the legs. I'll hold Control, deselect all the legs. And then for the arm, me go to UV selection here, and then I'll grab the hands, and I'll hit my move tool. My move tool is going to be in the middle here. I'm just going to move the hands up out of the way. And now I can go back to edge selection, and then I have my arm, so you can see that the edge is still selected, which is nice, but I want to go over to my hand and just deselect the edges on the hand. Very good. So now I should just have the arms, and then I will hit UV cut, go to UV selection, grab the arm, and then hit unfold. There are arms unfolded. Pretty good. Go back into perspective. One thing I want to do on the arm here is I want to create a separation between the wrist and the sleeve. So I'm going to go over to the last edge on the sleeve here, just in between. Just double click that. I'm going to do a UV cut inside of here. And these are already unfolded. They're just going to be separated now. So this, if I move it off, those are separate pieces. And the reason for that is the sleeve is a different texture than the arm, so when I go do texture work, it's a lot easier to just have those as separate sections. So I'll jump back into here. I go down to the legs here. Just turn off these accessories. So my pads, we go ahead and just separate those. And then I'll turn these off. This is going to be knee pad underscore left. And I'll go ahead and just rename this one. For now, that'll be knee pad right. And I'll go ahead and just turn those off by hitting H. Grab the holster. I'll go ahead and hit H. Get the, whatever this is supposed to be, maybe an ammo pack or something. Ammo pack. And then I'll hit H. Let's jump down onto the legs here. Go to edge selection. I'm going to grab an edge in here, hit F to frame, and I want to separate the pant leg from the boot. So up here on the top edge, I'm going to hit that. I'm going to come into my UVs here, and I'll go down to UV cut. Good. Then I can pull the boots away from the legs. UV selection, double click the boots. I'll just move those out of the way. And now I can go ahead and do a selection on the inseam of the pants. So inside here, I'm going to go ahead and just double click the inseam. That should grab a cut pretty much all the way through the leg there. And then on the other side. So up in the middle, down on the other side. Cool. But you can see that it went a little bit into the boot, which I don't want. So I'm going to go over to my UVs here. And to refresh that, I'm going to go ahead and just click on the boot. And then I'll hold down Control. I'm going to go ahead and Control click around the boot to deselect that. And you can see that all that got deselected, and I just have the pant leg here. Okay. I'm also going to do the outside of the pant leg. Hold Shift, double click on the outer seam here. And I will Control click to get rid of that selection. And you can also see that there's more edges selected out here. So I want to Control click through the rest of my model. There we go. So I should just have the pants. UV cut. So now I have two sections of the pants. So UV selection, go ahead and select your pants. Go ahead and separate that off. And then I can unfold these. So unfold. And then this one, I'll go ahead and unfold that. And then unfold. Yeah, so the pants are good. We have the torso, we got the arms. I'm going to go ahead and call the video here. And then in the next one, we'll take a look at doing the hands, gloves, and the boots. Okay? So save your work, stay tuned, and I shall see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. Misty and I both thank you. If you enjoyed that video you just watched, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, there's Lame Duck Studios merch. Grab yourself a cool hat, sweater. You can always check out my Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive content just for my patrons, as well as videos ad-free ahead of time. Or pick up one of my books. The Life and Times of Dinah Marton is about a criminal psychologist who moonlights as a serial killer, and The Guardian's Path of Ascension is about 5 teens who realize they have the power of gods and have to save the universe. Both of those are available on Amazon. There are links down in the description. And The Guardians is going to be converted into a comic book. I'm working with my artist Patrick. We're pretty excited. We're shooting for an October release. You can see some of the work that's been done here. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.